Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice or watching this on YouTube, thank you. That means you're now tuned into another chapter of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff. As always, I got my cohorts, my family, my friends, Skittles, CR. Say what's up to the people.
Hi, we're back.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy CR908, the king of New Jersey, you heard me? You're going to get that intro every damn time.
Yeah, so I don't even bother introing myself. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, this is really sweet.
You think so?
Hold on.
I kind of feel like it would taste really good with ginger beer and like a shot of cognac.
I like it.
This is not a Sangria sponsored podcast, but this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a service that provides online therapy. The way 2020 was for a lot of people, the way 2021 is still a reflection of that. Therapy is definitely a great medium to get through it all. So if you go to betterhelp.com/introvert, use the code introvert at checkout to get 10% off your first month. And again, that's betterhelp.com/introvert. Use the code introvert at checkout to get 10% off your first month.
And Scotch Porter got another sale for y'all. So head over to Black Men Cry 2, TOO, to click our affiliate link. Anyone who has access to the link has 30% off with Scotch Porter. Black-owned men's grooming brand, BTW, in case you guys don't know by now. And if you don't, yikes.
So I took a week off. I made the decision to take a week off because I wasn't feeling it. But we didn't see each other, obviously. We didn't really communicate. So I would like to know how your guys' past 2 weeks, I guess, have been recently. I guess this month's coming to a close. How you guys been? Anything new?
Skittles, do you want to
Anything you want to share?
get us started?
Good or bad? Highlight or low light?
Yikes. So I've had an interesting couple of weeks. I was very triggered, by no one's fault, by hearing relatable news within the community is always triggering, and I hadn't heard it since May. So reliving like what happened to me in January with losing my mom was something that I was avoiding for the past 2 weeks. And in avoiding it, I was abusing my vices a lot. Like, I haven't drank like that in a really long time, eating the way that I was eating. Literally was smoking like all through the day, but knowingly what I was doing. Like, I knew I was avoiding trying to like sit in that thought. And shout out to my waxer. As wild as that sounds, me and my waxer are really good friends. I mean, she knows the most intimate part of me. So hello. She like read the shit out of me when I saw her on Friday, and it was everything I needed to hear. And in hearing it, Tuesday night, I had a very intense and emotional breakdown. Like, snot was coming out of my fucking nose. I haven't snot cried in a really long time, and I hate fucking snot crying. Like, it makes me mad.
Right.
So as soon as I had to blow my nose twice, I was like, okay, we gotta wrap this show up. I feel disgusting. And it was really late. It was like 3 a.m. So I ended up calling out of work yesterday to just be like, that felt like a detox, and I just need to not work today. But it's one of those weird breakdown blessings, because it's like I'm breaking down clearly because I was re-triggered. I relived that moment. I'm thinking about like the void and like missing my mom 10 times hard. But in those 2 weeks, there was a lot of like self-discovery, a lot of like plans that were made, a lot of, you know, new opportunities, new blessings. I saw my old mentor, and I got to like work an event with her. I haven't seen her in like 4 years since she moved to Chicago, and being that this year with what happened and me and her being more reconnected more than ever, being able to see her and hug her, that was like an amazing moment. Working with some of my friends, hiring them back-to-back weekends feels dope as hell. Like, I'm putting money in my friends' pockets, and they're like a good representation of like a team for me. Finally understanding who I want to be and what I want to do next. I like booked my movers, and I saw my storage unit today, like literally knowing like shit's about to like get real. Like, this is a new fucking chapter that I'm embarking on, and it hurts, of course. I don't have my mom physically here with me in this journey, but it just felt so weird because it was like, I feel like I understand my mom and me and like myself and the relationship with me and my mom and the relationship of my mom and my dad, and like who I kind of am destined to be if I lean into it. And then it also showed me like when I steer off the plan or do shit unknowingly, knowingly, the universe finds its way to give me the messages to like slow down or like you're doing shit wrong. Like my wax chat told me like I may be abusing vices and things of that nature. And then later that night she called me out on Instagram because she saw that I was at the fucking strip club. It is what it is. It just happened. But that same night I got a speeding ticket and I haven't gotten a speeding ticket in years. And while I got the speeding ticket, I couldn't even fight it because I was doing a whole bunch of other shit that could have got me in worse trouble than the speeding ticket. Wow. So I swallowed my tongue and I literally sat there and like usually I would beat myself up and be fuming. I was like, okay, I didn't listen to her when she said I was abusing my vices. This was the universe being like, bitch, we told you. You can't say you didn't get a sign. Yeah. We gave you the sign. We gave you the words and you're still out here doing whatever you want. Cool. We're going to show you again.
Here's a lesson.
Right. So it's been it's been one of those down uppers because even though it's emotional to the point where I'm like crying and like sad, it's just a lot of revelations happening within that sort of keep me at peace because it shows me how I'm now choosing peace due to what I'm going through, how my life is different, if that makes sense.
The one word that stuck out to me is that you said we got to break down.
Breakthrough.
Telling you how to break through, like the realizations, the conversation you had with your waxer, like it seemed like those were the key moments that really got you out of that.
Yeah.
And the time, and I mean, granted the time spent doing the vices wasn't healthy, but you kind of were able to censor yourself through your own means, through your own actions in that way. And that definitely was an important role in that whole entirety of what you experienced. But I'm glad you made it through all of that. Like, I mean, certain moments happen to us that trigger us. Who knows where you can go after that?
True. I think for me, I didn't want to believe that I could be triggered again because I hadn't been triggered in so long. That being triggered again and even in doing the vices, still having that like intuition, like you may be doing a little too much right now, or you don't really need to be doing this right now, but still feeling the need to indulge still feels better than before when I would just keep indulging and not even have a voice in the back of my head like,
So it's still progress.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that you acknowledge that you are escaping something, it was a major step, right? Because there's people who drink and smoke a lot and don't know why, right? They just keep doing it. I know I smoke a lot, right? To escape like the feeling of being lonely or sad. Sometimes I'll smoke because I'll still feel good. And I'm just like, I want to not feel good.
Right.
So I'm going to smoke just to make sure I feel good.
Or I just want to feel like better than what I'm feeling right now. So let me just enhance this good feeling.
Right. So I think that's important that you recognize that, because with dealing with everything you're processing, it's important to have that self-reflection to know that you're, abusing your vices, because there's nothing wrong with indulging every once in a while. Moderation is everything. But to identify with yourself and to know like, okay, like I'm kind of like losing control a little bit, that takes a lot of insight, because a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do that.
Is time like the only remedy to the harm that the triggers cause? Like, is it just as time passes, our resistance to them builds up, or is it something else?
I don't think I'm at a place to answer that as yet. I know when things happen to me fresh, and if someone brings something very fresh, and it's something that takes a lot for me to like process or swallow, I'm not too keen into like leaning into it. That could be more triggering. Where if it's something, not to say lighter, like I've been through some shit, and if someone says that they've been through some shit, not that I could trauma bond, I could be like, oh yeah, well we can talk about it, da-da-da. I can still do that now, but I think with this particular situation, people were losing their parents directly before mine and directly after. So it was all in the same like realm. This was like, okay, there's no more parental deaths happening. Cool. Let's just tiptoe, enjoy summer. And then it was bam, like shit. I didn't have to say these words or think these thoughts. There's been other passings and grief that I've supported, throughout that time, but it hasn't been like a direct who I lost.
Right.
So I know it's capable. I I see other people who are able to do it. I just don't know if I have that answer currently.
That's interesting. I don't know. I kind of was asking that for my own insight because I've been triggered by stuff recently and things I haven't even thought about. So it's like, is time like the remedy, or is it acceptance that this may happen again?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I am really glad that you made it through that,
Yeah.
like genuinely, because I don't know what that pain is like to lose a parent. I don't know really what it's like to lose anyone that close to me, but for you to still have the energy and the strength to even go outside and do anything, vices or not, I think that's really a testament to your growth, and I think you're on the right path towards true healing.
Thank you.
It's a journey, not a destination.
You know?
It's definitely something you have to maintain.
So after throwing out my hat, like, was that like the beginning of your week, or was that like the end of the week? Like, how's your week been?
Yeah, that's how I got
Bobby
started.
smirted his hat.
Yeah, I threw it right in the dumpster in the back. Anyway,
We're in the Jersey water.
so that week that we didn't have the show, I did have a highlight of that week. I went on a game show. It's called the Drinking Game Show.
More vices. We love vices here.
Yo, I had so much fun. I'm not even going to style. Like, my friend Chris, he put it together. He's an artist. He raps. But he's obviously trying to get his name out there in different ways. So he put together this really dope game show with 3 different segments. I was kind of drunk and high, so I don't remember all the segments.
Yo.
But
That is the worst.
I was wasted. But it was so much fun. I do remember 2 segments. So one of them was like we were all in line and we had to like do like a beer pong thing. And whoever actually had the most points, I don't remember actually, but
did that even happen?
it did happen.
Did you lose every game?
I thank you for saying that, because there was one game that I should have won, but I
One
lost.
game.
It was
Oh, we didn't
all
even
right.
win.
So we were supposed to rap, right?
Yeah.
And you go in a circle, and you have to whoever whatever word that person ended with, you had to start your rap with, and you couldn't like pause too long or anything. You had to keep going. So we went around. It was down to me and this girl named Diliani.
You lost a girl? I love this story. I love
And
this
she's
story.
Dominican, so she's on my island. Right. So the thing about it though, and I told Dil that she cheated because it was a loophole. Let me tell you how. She used the same word more than once. And I didn't know that you could do that.
So she didn't cheat. You just were too drunk and high to pay attention to the rules.
No, that was a loophole. They didn't say you couldn't do it, but they didn't say you could either. And it was a little bit of a lack of creativity, in my opinion. But
You still lost them.
Right.
Like, it don't matter.
It was.
But I
It don't
made
matter
it
how you
down.
thought the game should have went.
I made it
you
down
didn't
to
remember the game.
Right. Mad
remember
games
that
you played.
game. It was like 3 or 4. But yeah, that particular game was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. But my biggest thing about it though was just like, it showed me that this world of entertainment, really has different types of personalities than the regular 9-to-5 society or whatever you want to call that. I call it the Matrix.
Oh.
Right? So
Thanks.
it's like, I was just like, because I made a post about it. I'm like, this life is about the people. This life is about the people for me. You know what I'm saying? For me, this life is about the people. Like, I asked myself, like, why do I do me? I'm not balling off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I love podcasting, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? What's making me come back every time? It's y'all. It's the fucking people.
Okay,
yo.
I got a little nervous when you started that sentence. I was like, "Oh my god, is he trying to break up with us right now?"
No.
I'm not prepared.
It's
That's
the
an interesting
people.
segue.
Oh my god, you guys are hilarious. But yeah, so being on that game show, it just showed me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just fun to be in entertainment, because if I wasn't who I was, I wouldn't even have known these people. They would have never invited me. You know what I'm saying? I would have never even known about it. I just think it's important to recognize what we do is super unique to the world, and that we have a specific position when it comes to contributing to people's entertainment, contributing to people's minds. Like, I don't take it for granted at all. Like, I love this. I care about the money, but I don't care about the money. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to have mad bread from this shit, but even if I didn't make any money, I still would do this shit, because it's about the people.
Facts.
It's really about the people. And the week after that, I went to a cookout, and I got to see one of my boys who's having a baby on the way. He's engaged. I feel like everybody around me is getting engaged and having kids. He's actually somebody that I first started rapping with. His name is Eric Williams, aka Will's Thriller. Yeah, that's my nigga from Elizabeth. You know, you already know that 908. You're.
Oh my gosh.
Are you better than him in rapping?
Look,
We don't. Oh.
I don't want to be out here. I'm nice, nigga. I'm the nicest.
Spicy.
That's where we're gonna start.
Just asking.
But they stopped rapping. I kept going, so whatever. But it was a good cookout. You know what I'm saying? I've been socializing a lot more now because, like, honestly, like, I was developing social anxiety, yo.
Same.
I was. 2020, I definitely developed social anxiety because I was getting invited to a lot of shit, and I would spend so much time deciding if I would want to go or not. And I would tell people I'm gonna go, and then it'd be the day, and I'm just like, yo, I don't think I'm gonna go. Like, I just come up with some bullshit, or you know what I'm saying? And it was like, why am I acting like that? Like, what am I afraid of? And out of these 2 weeks, I could say the most impactful thing that's happened to me is that I really, really started like accepting myself and loving myself, like especially like physically, because some of my like insecurities are some of the things that people actually like about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to, like, one thing I started doing, I was telling Jeff, is like, I started smiling more. And that shit made a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? It made a huge difference in my social interactions. Like, I started attracting a lot more different types of people. People started interacting with me a lot more. I started getting bagged more. I'm like, that's what's up. I'm like, that's what's up.
Why don't you like your smile? Is it your gap?
Because my gap. And I was insecure about it. But then I realized, you know, I got white teeth. My teeth are not, you know, yellow. They're not overlapped. Yeah, it's just
not missing any teeth.
Not missing any teeth.
Yeah, they're not falling out.
And there's some people who find it attractive. So it's like I had to learn how to love that. And then I also had to accept where I'm at in my process of fitness. You know what I'm saying? I got a little extra, but I'm still sexy. You know what I'm saying? I'm still handsome. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's women who can
Everybody always
appreciate
like
that.
the chicken with more meat on it.
I'm just
like, what is this scrawny
saying.
piece? Get that outta
That's
here.
a lot of women have been saying that, and you know what? That's been boosting my confidence, and I think that's also why it's so important to have female friends for me, because I really do have female friends who really like empower me and let me know, like, bro, like, you're mad handsome, you got a great personality, like, anybody be happy to have you. So it'd be like that reinforcement helps me, because as super confident as I seem all the time on camera or on stage or whatever, I definitely have my insecurities, and they definitely played a role in my social anxiety, because I wouldn't feel comfortable. I'd feel like I have to constantly readjust my shirt, try to suck in my stomach. And I was telling Jeff, yo, fuck that shit. Yo, I'm not sucking in shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's here. I'm working on it. Eventually it won't be here. But for now, it is what it is. I'm Big Papa.
You called yourself that for the second time today. It's just like,
just because you hate it. Just because you hate it.
You got one too many nicknames.
No, I'm not.
No, but like, I really, I mean, it took you a while to get to this point. You would agree, like,
yes,
to really feel comfortable. But I admire that.
I'm comfortable with myself because I can't escape my body. I can only accept it as it is and make the adjustments as best as I can. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to David Goggins.
Legend.
This nigga is the most intense motherfucker alive.
Best Instagram page I've ever seen.
Yo, I watched his interview on YouTube. He's fucking nuts, first of all. But one of the realest things that he said on that interview was, you got to be fucking raw and real about who you are right now if you want to change. Mm-hmm. If you don't be real about shit, like if you're not being honest and like, you know, telling, because he was saying how when he started changing and started educating himself, he started by saying, you know what, I'm a dumb motherfucker. I'm dumb as hell. How I get smarter? I read books. That's exactly how he said it.
Right.
Like he's kept it real. He's like, yo, I'm fat, man. I'm a fat ass. And he said, yo, how do I change this?
Yeah.
And then he started, but he was like, yo, he took accountability though.
Yeah.
That's the thing that was like, yo, he took accountability. He didn't blame anybody else. He didn't make any excuses. He was just like, yo, if I want to change this shit, I got to acknowledge how much work I got to put in to get there.
You kind of got to shame yourself sometimes into change.
And you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. It's painful and it sucks. It totally does. But on the other side of the suffering is absolute beauty, absolute euphoria, absolute completeness. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, You just have to say, yo, this is gonna suck, this is gonna be ass, but fuck it.
I have a question, because I've heard like, would you be comfortable with your friends shaming you into change?
No. It depends. I don't like shaming. The word shaming just has a negative connotation. Like that, I don't like anything negative. I feel like you can encourage me without shaming me. Like if you see me doing something, and you're like, yo, Rod, come on, you're gonna eat that? Like, what happened? That you're doing this, like, as opposed to saying, "Damn, you're gonna eat that, bro? You fat ass nigga." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, then there's shame, and then that's disrespect.
I'm
like,
just
like you can shame without
how
being
do you
disrespectful.
shame without being disrespectful? Like, I don't understand that.
But if you know the person, I'm saying like the intent. You know you can feel the intention. You're an intuitive person.
Don't try,
you know your
don't
friend.
try that shit with me, man.
He likes delivery.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't like that.
Okay.
I like positive reinforcement.
I understand.
So you don't like blunt honesty or directness?
I can take bluntness and honesty, but there's a difference between, let me tell you something that I just heard, right? Honesty without compassion is brutality. All right? So when you're being honest with people, you got to be considerate of the delivery and how what you're saying is going to affect that person. Because sometimes we're so caught up in what we're saying and, you know, removing all the bullshit and we just want them to get the message that we don't take any accountability on the lack of empathy behind the message, right? So that matters. Honesty is great, but the delivery matters. The message and how it's been, you know, packaged really matters.
Okay. Well, I mean, the fitness journey continues.
Of course. I'll never give up.
The acceptance journey continues.
Yeah.
The journey continues.
The journey.
The journey does continue.
Speaking of the journey, speaking of the responsibility that podcasting has, part of the reason why I want to take the week off is kind of an extension of that. Like, I just like the podcast in general. Like, how can I say this? So I've been doing a lot of meditation, and through my meditative process, I close my eyes and I surround myself with nothing but mirrors. And like above each of those mirrors is kind of like categories of my life, like family, friends, relationship, business, everything involving my life. And I could see like a clear future in like what I want out of everything in my life except for this podcast. I started this podcast like damn near 4 years ago. It was just out of pure like being inspired by specifically the Brilliant Idiots podcast, Charlamagne the God, Andrew Schultz. Just seeing the banter of two friends go back and forth talking shit about different topics, I thought that was really interesting to me, and it inspired me to initially do this podcast. So I did that with my first, my friend who, not really my friend anymore, but who I started this podcast with, and that's what the podcast was. And then it slowly transitioned into like this mental health focused, serious, transparent, and funny, entertaining podcast. And during like that, I guess that next phase of it, I wanted to be the best. I wanted to do live shows. I wanted to sell merchandise. I wanted to get to the top of the charts. I wanted to sign an exclusive deal with a network. And all those things really happened in a way, like in different ways. We never really signed anywhere specifically, but once kind of like that like phase of like my goals, that phase of my goals, I guess, manifested and maybe came and went, my motivation like really waned a bit. And while I agree with you, CR, like part of this, the responsibility of the show and the entertainment and the comfort, the entertaining factor of this podcast is like us. Like we're friends outside of this podcast. At least I think so. And I can recognize why you guys show up. I feel like you can stop me whenever I'm wrong. I feel like you guys kind of look to me and you trust my vision of what's next and how should we structure this. And you kind of just come along with the ride. I mean, you offer input because you're a part of this and you care, but I feel like you kind of look to me to lead the way. And I own that responsibility. I just don't know where I want to go anymore. I don't see an end goal. I don't know what I want like with this show. And I recognize the fact that there's a responsibility, that there are people who tune in, and the numbers reflect it, who tune in and get something from this. But I've been feeling like I'm not getting anything from it. And, you know, there's the law of diminishing returns, where basically the amount of effort you put into something doesn't match the return. And I feel like that's what I'm feeling. Like not like money. Like I feel like money could come from this in so many different ways if we really put our effort towards it. But I'm personally not getting like real fulfillment from this like I used to. And I don't know what that's an extension of. I am in a phase of my life where, and I think it's kind of bad that I'm here. Like all I give a fuck about is money. Like I work every day. Literally, I have technically 2 jobs now. Like I'm trying to get into a third one. And all I really care about is money. And things that don't make me money kind of frustrate me.
Yeah.
And I know this podcast, you really used to be like a great medium for peace. Like it made me more confident. I'm a better speaker. I would never be as enjoyable to talk to as I am now if it wasn't for this podcast. Talking to random strangers every week and interviewing them. Like at one point you were a stranger. And I gained a lot from this podcast. I just don't know if I reached a point in my life where I've gotten everything I wanted or needed from it. And I'm not suggesting that it's over, but to be fully transparent with the listeners, like we are going to take off. I want to take off in September. I don't want to record the podcast in September because I want to sit back and and try to figure out what I want from this, not just for me, but for us. Like, I don't want to just lead you guys blindly. I don't want you to show up every week and just pay your money and just with no real end goal, because it's not fair to y'all.
I respect that. It takes good leadership.
So I need to really figure out what I want to do, what I want for us, not what I want to do, because I think that's selfish. What I want for us with this. And honestly, to be transparent, I haven't had a vision of that pretty much this entire year, honestly. And it's kind of just coming out now. I've been trying to figure it out through the work. And it's a bit frustrating because it's like when you take so much time to build a platform, you build relationships through a platform, like, and you have thoughts of giving it all up or not really wanting to feel inspired to do it anymore. It's frustrating because it's like that could change relationships. Like, I feel like if maybe this is my overthinking brain. I had a moment where I was thinking like, if I ended this, like, would we still be as tight? And it's like that got me overthinking and stuff like that. So I want to take September off to figure out what I want to do with this show. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on anything I said, but that's where I'm at with Introverted Intuition right now. I don't know what I want from this, truthfully. I don't know if it's a monetary thing. I don't know if it's like something that's tangible, like our own fucking studio, our own fucking couch with the logo on it. I don't know. Like I really don't know what I want from this anymore. I have fun when I come here, but when I go home, I sometimes question what was it for.
So why do you show up every week?
It feels like it kind of got to a point where it feels like an obligation.
Mm-hmm.
When did it switch for you?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific moment, but it definitely started this year before you joined the show. Yeah, I don't know. I just lost sight of why I initially started this. What I want. I don't, because like there's so much you can get from this. There's so many things outside of just like the things that maybe the audience may know of, like signing to a deal exclusively or whatever. Like that would be nice, but I don't even see how you get that. And maybe I'm comparing myself to other people's journeys in a way. Maybe this is like lack of confidence, but I just don't know. I don't know what I want from this anymore. Me personally, I don't know what I want from this. But I am interested, like what do you guys want from this? Like, why do you show up every week? Is it just because we're cool? Because this is something to do to get our thoughts off, have laughs? Like, why do you show up?
You want me to go?
Mm-hmm. I was like, you've been here.
I can tell by your eyes.
That's what I'm staring at you. Like,
yeah. So you are you. Me personally, it's fun. As simple as that. Like, I don't want to. I'm just gonna speak openly. Like, I kind of felt like this was gonna, like, you would come to this place. You know what I'm saying? Because along the journey, I kind of felt like we were just like winging it. I don't regret any part of Introverted Intuition at all because it changed my life completely through relationships, through experiences and everything. But I also felt the same way in the essence of what is the end goal. Like, I didn't really ever see what we were working towards. I didn't really see that. But that's not why I joined for real. You know what I'm saying? One, it was definitely a great way for me to like connect with people. This was a platform that allowed me to like reach more people, introduce myself and my brand to people, and it helped me create a stronger relationship with you, with Skittles, and even people that we were cool with at the last studio. I'm still cool with Johnny. Like me and Johnny have a song coming out this fall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was all, even music, because the same way you feel about podcasting, bro, I've had that conversation with myself with music. I love music. I'm never going to stop doing it in the essence of creating music, but will I be trying to perform at shows and do showcases and doing all that? Probably not. To be honest, totally honest, I like performing, but then I don't like performing. It's a lot of fucking work. And sometimes you go to a stage that's not properly set up, doesn't have good sound. You might come to a stage where the crowd is kind of either feeling you or they're not feeling you. Like, it's a lot of different variables when you're an independent artist trying to perform. You know what I'm saying? That's what drove me to start even organizing my own shows, right? It's sporadic and it won't be as consistent as performing at open mics or showcases. But when I put a show together, it's lit. You feel me? These are all my people. You mean I feel like a motherfucking Drake, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I put my shit together, that's how I feel. I didn't feel like that when I was going to showcases and wearing myself thin, trying to chase the idea of what it means to be a successful musician.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, I think you need to ask yourself, to what capacity would you like to still do podcasting where it doesn't feel like an obligation? Because there was a time where music felt like an obligation for me, and I had to take a pause. I was just like, yo, like, no, I want to live my real life. Like, I want to make more money. I want to get in shape. Like, I was pouring so much money into studio time, music videos, putting shows together. And I'm like, yo, I'm not spending any money on anything that's giving me a return. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is frustrating. And I've gotten to that place, like, where I told my team, like, yo, I'm not spending any more money on events right now. I'm not spending any money on production right now. Like, I'm going to just market whatever is in my catalog right now. And that's how I'm moving. I'm focused on just, honestly, self-development right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I feel like it takes a lot of honesty to come to this place, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be opposed to anything that would suggest a different direction, or whatever happens. You're still going to be my friend. You're still going to be my friend. You can hold me accountable. Ask anybody who knows me. Once I say you're my friend, you're my fucking friend. Right. I don't care if we're not on the podcast together. I'm going to hit you up and you better fucking pick up or text back, motherfucker, because I'm coming to pull up. I'm pulling up on you. Like, I don't care. So for me personally, I was here for the people. With or without the podcast, I still got the people.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just a weird person, man. I got a lot going on. It's just a lot. Like, I feel it's just, honestly, it's an extension of guilt too. It's like, who am I to have these people follow behind me and I'm not really giving them anything? I mean, maybe I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, taking for granted the experiences we've had. Like, maybe I'm not valuing the moments the real intimate moments that we've had, and comparing them towards like something that's financial or tangible. But I'm gonna figure it out in some way. I got a bit more soul searching to do in that aspect.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest something, then I'm going to state two things. I'm gonna suggest and ask at the same time, if that makes sense. So my suggestion / question, sound like that was a tongue twister right there. And I felt like I had like a slur there. Am I drunk? I hope not.
She's feeling it.
A little bit. I also didn't eat much, so that could be where it's coming from.
6-hour sangria will do it to you.
Yeah. So my waxer again, shout out to Tisha from Fancy Cats. I feel like I should just shout her out now. Yes, Fancy Cats.
That's a great name.
Right?
Wow.
Fancy Cats with the K, BTW. Follow her, let her know I sent you. Anyways, what she had said to me is part of me moving out is I don't have a permanent destination that I'm going to next. So I'm living like a nomad where my permanent sort of address is just going to be my dad's. Like that's where my shit will be. That's where like I'll be based. But I'm going anywhere and everywhere that I can. And part of anywhere and everywhere means I'm doing a week in Harlem. I'm doing a month in Brooklyn. Like it's still New York, but then some of it won't be. What she had said to me was, you are so distracted by noise and chaos that you can't even answer your own like questions or your own thoughts, which led to my breakthrough. I was like sitting by myself. I wasn't abusing a vice, and I just could not stop fucking crying, like boohoo crying, snot came out the nose, that whole scene. But that was silence for me. Like it was 3 a.m. No one's up. No one's hitting up my phone. No one's doing anything to distract me. Like there was no fucking distractions. And in that moment, and like all the conversations I was having and all the thoughts I was having, a little spiritually, I did feel like my mom was holding me while I was crying. And in it, like everything was just like, nope, clear, nope, clear. I'm like, clear here, I'm clear here. There's my clarity. This was my moment. But I needed like to remove myself from the noise. And I do allow myself to consume noise because I just want to, the insecurity, I'm just not too sure. Like, I don't need validation from people, but I just need to know that I don't look batshit crazy when I'm outside. Like, can someone give me that like confirmation head nod? But that's what I was gonna ask and then pose. Like because you had also mentioned comparing to others, which was detrimental for my mental health for a really fucking long time. And once I started removing that, and even it's hard to do, but even still removing that now and like teaching my brain to look and think differently and understanding my path, understanding my journey, those that I do admire, that I have a connection to, playing mine to their journey. Like, shit, their journey wasn't peachy. Like, I know their journey. Like, they've been open with their fucking journey. And now that I get that understanding and I can see that they've gotten to their place, it's like, okay, so mine's also going to be a little muddled. It's not going to be overnight. And the way that I said it to my friend is, the way that we pace ourselves sometimes when you're in a journey and it does feel like it's taking longer because you're either sharpening yourself and becoming more sustainable, whereas others that are just like rapid overnight. Yeah, you're rapid overnight and you do this today and then next year you're doing something else because you're not honing in on those skills. You're not sharpening. You're not becoming an expert at this trade before you jump to the next. It's whatever can like get you paid, get you quick, that instant gratification that Gen Z has. That took me a really long time to learn and process. That, again, like I said, detrimental to my mental health, put me in a world of depression, post-graduation, whole thing for comparing. I even compare myself in my like romantic life. Like you had mentioned, people getting engaged and having babies. And I'm like, nope, single as a whole fucking dollar bill, y'all. Like, no, like really fucking single here. Like, it's cool, but still like trying to calm myself down from that. Like, it just may not be your time. Look at how much more like you're learning about yourself. Look at how much of a better lover you can be because you're learning how to practice compassion. Like, you didn't have that before. And accepting that, like knowing this is what I still want and not talking myself out of it. Like, fuck it, I'm just going to be a crazy dog mom. Like, no, I'm going to get my man, y'all. Like, I'm going to get my fucking husband. Like, I'm saying that. Like, I'm getting my husband. I'm getting my 2 children because after that, fuck that. And like, that's going to happen. But if it doesn't, okay, then I got to accept life turned out differently. But I'm not giving up on that. I'm just starting to accept what my pace looks like. And even in that, someone today hit me up, one of my friends who claims I friend zoned him, but whatever, was like, anytime I see you post, I always want to sing Big Pimpin'. And I was like, what? Why? And he was like, you just be like living life. I have nothing else to fucking do but live my life. So if that inspires you, if you feel like singing Jay-Z when you see me, sure. But that's what I have to do with my time is fucking live. And if I learned anything this year, time in life is limited and temporary. So getting the most out of it, that brings you fulfillment. But if you're not feeling fulfilled, it's understanding what is it that makes you feel fulfilled.
Yeah. And I think when I doing that self-reflective process, it's like, this was the one thing that had the question mark above it. It's like, does this still provide me the level of peace, happiness, positivity, inspiration that it once provided me? And the answer was no. Like it's just not. Like it's not anything to do with y'all. It's really just a me thing that because I have lost sight of what I initially came into this for. I need to rediscover that.
I was about to say, maybe you need something else. How long have we been talking about film? About, writing stuff and putting stuff together. Like, maybe you need to take a break from doing podcasts and like try a different medium of creation. Or do you feel like you just don't feel like being creative? Like you just want to apply that psychological energy towards income and making money?
No, I mean the other creative mediums that I have, like
Writing.
writing, like I'm coming up with a treatment for like this trailer for my next book I'm gonna be filming in like 2 weeks. Like those things are like, I think because I've seen success from my other creative endeavors.
You want to put more energy into those.
I think so.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like I've seen way more success than I ever thought from my book career as opposed to my podcasting career. And I always looked at the podcasting career, the podcast itself is like a bridge to all these things. I think without the podcast, I don't think I could have anything else. So,
yeah. Okay, Yomi.
What is success? At this phase of my life, I think it's not anything tangible. I think it's just a successful life. Success is equivalent to no worry. So I think working myself into a position where I don't have to question or worry about my next step is what I'm working towards. That's success to me. Going into 30, I think not having a bill, not having to even acknowledge the next bill, not having to check my account 5 times a day, not having to worry about my family or friends are good if they're eating off the fruits of the thing we built or we do every week. I think that's the level of success I'm working towards. Nothing for me personally, selfishly. Like I don't care if I'm ever rich, but if I can live worry free, that's success for me. And I think I feel worried continuing to do this podcast where I'm in this space where I don't know what I want because I feel guilty because I feel like I'm just dragging you guys along with not giving you anything in return. So I hope that makes sense.
Is that question for everybody or just for Jeff?
What is success to you?
Success to me, right? Because some people can't take showers. Like some people have to walk. Seriously, gotta walk like 2 miles just for drinking water. Like first off, you're already thirsty as fuck, right? And then you gotta walk an extra 2 miles just to get the water. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So I was coming from like sometimes whenever you go through like, phases of your life or like, I don't want to call it, I think the word depression, like it's a word that like I don't really use lightly because there's people that really like suffer from this. Mm-hmm. So like I would say a depressive state. So like there's some times where like people go through like live their lives and then like, shit happens and then you get into this depressive state. And then like now I'm telling you like a shower is success. That is success to me because you just live life and then shit happens and you're sad as fuck that you can't even get up and go to bed. I mean, go shower, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like thinking about it from that scale to actually monetary is just kind of like.
I get what you're saying.
I understand that.
Because it's about gratitude. And if you can be grateful for a shower, then of course, life will come in abundance from there because I agree with that. Like, I love appreciating the small things. Like, I never forget what life was like before I had my own apartment, before I had a car, before I had any of these things, before I had a label, before I was CR. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never forget, and I'm grateful for everything. I think that's a powerful way to look at it. For me, success for me is about time and freedom, right? I do want a lot of money, but it's not just for me. It's definitely because I want to be that guy for my friends and my family. I want them to come to me because they know I can help them. And I have enough discernment and understanding to understand that not in every situation am I going to write a check. Not in every situation am I going to hand over money. But in every situation, I will help, especially for the people that I care about. That's the position I want to be in. I really want to help the people around me just live a better quality life. So many people I know suffer from chronic depression, suffer from like high anxiety. They suffer from poverty. They suffer from a lack of education. So many things that really are tied to a lack of financial freedom because they don't have the time that they need to spend on taking care of themselves mentally and spiritually because they're trading their time for money. If anything I could do in my lifetime, it would be to free my friends and family from having to trade their time for money. What would life be like if you didn't have to worry about money? Ask people that. What would you do with some people don't even know what they would do if they didn't have to go to work. Some people don't even know what they would do with themselves. Bro, life is like, yes, we have to work and take care of ourselves, but life is so much bigger than fucking a job, yo. And that's how I want to be able to have enough money where literally if I want to go to fucking Rome for a month, I can hang out in Rome for a month and like look at art and learn about different world history from the actual country. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. I just want freedom to explore what's already been created here by people, you know? That's success to me. And obviously I want to have a family. Like I definitely need my life partner. Like I want a wife. I want kids. I want a legacy. I want an empire. Like I don't give a fuck. I've been dreaming about being a dad for the years. I'm gonna be a dope ass dad.
Yeah.
Funny and inspirational. You know, one of those dads off of those like sitcoms. That's gonna be me. That's one of my dreams. Bigger than music.
Success to me, and it kind of ties, like my answer is also going to tie into why I show up every week, because I also didn't answer that. Success to me has changed throughout the year. Success to me has never seemed more defined since losing my mom. And I am trying to compose myself in responding, because this has been a conversation that I like literally was also having on the way here with one of my really good Capricorn friends. So success to me is also legacy, but in terms of legacy. And one thing that did occur in the time that we weren't recording was I was off on a Sunday and I decided to do an Auntie Kitty like pool day at my dad's. My parents have a pool. For so long, it's been like me and my friends hang out because my parents moved when I was a freshman in college. But a lot of my friends now have children. And I try my best to be present, like spend time. I spend time with my friends' kids. And I invited 4 of them over with their children. And like everyone kind of knew each other, but the friends that I have with children aren't like tight with the other friends I have with children. They don't really know them like that. So in hosting it, it was all I am as a host. I opened the doors. I had food. People did bring extra stuff. I made some drinks. People brought extra stuff. And I was present. Like I was present for the day. The day was about the kids and the friends to connect and hold space. Yeah. And I never felt so full that day. And one of my friend's husband said in one particular area where he was standing that the energy felt very like strong and warm, and I knew what he was trying to say, but I didn't want to say it in case I was wrong, because me and him never had a conversation like that. Then me and him stepped to the side later in the day and we were smoking, and when he had said it again, I was like, I feel like you're feeling my mom, like you've never met my mom and you're in her home. So if you feel a certain type of way, like I'm hoping that's what you're feeling. And he was like, that's what I was nervous to tell you, because I didn't know what like where you were at today. And for me to say like, I feel your mom's spirit and her energy and it's strong, like it feels welcoming and comforting. And just to see the reaction and the response that people, my friends left like wanting to do another one, feeling full, trusting someone they met that day with their newborn infant that's only almost a year old, and watching him rock her to sleep. And it was so beautiful for me to feel like I'm stepping, like that's the part of my mom I'm stepping into. Like my mom was able to do that. My mom always held space. My mom always created space. And in that breakthrough I had, it was because like my mom did that for me. Like she raised me to be self-sufficient, where I don't miss my mom or need my mom because it's like, mommy, I need you to do this. Or like, mommy, can you help me figure this out? It's like, no, like you were just fucking present that I can just have a soundboard or just have a place. Like if I came home, didn't matter what fucking time, as soon as she heard the alarm go off when I entered the door, she would run down the stairs like a fucking child. Like it was the cutest thing that I didn't even take for better granted while she was alive. Like it was fake annoying. Like here she come, like you expect it. And then like coming home now and not having that, it's just like, damn, like I need my mom and I miss my mom for like shit like that. So for me, success is like being able to have an impact on people where
Take your time.
I can help benefit their life in any aspect, and it doesn't have to be monetary. If it just means I'm showing up because you need someone to show up and root you fucking on, like I will be that friend to fucking do that. If it's because you just need to FaceTime somebody because you're close to a fucking breakdown, I will be that friend to do that. Like I may not remember everything, but I'll remember the things that are important for you and like show up for you. And if my gift here is to hold space and create space and make people feel seen and make people feel heard, then that's success to me. If I can positively impact somebody, if someone could remember an exchange they had, if I can boost somebody's mood, if I can make someone believe in themselves, if I can make someone feel okay for like what they're feeling, if I can help somebody fucking heal, that's success to me. So of course, when it comes to monetary, I also don't want to have financial worries because I want to be able to provide for myself, to live life that I enjoy because I love living life and experiencing in life. But success to me is creating to like hold space and like give inspiration. That's success to me. I want to inspire people to fucking start living as themselves and like being authentic and being real. I fucking hate carbon copies. I think that's part of the problem with this world. We're so fucking greedy and selfish. Like we're self-centered in America. And it's like, I don't want to live that way. And I want to help others think differently. I want to help others free their fucking mind. That's success to me. Like I want it to be bigger than me. I want to be like a revolutionary in whatever way that people think I'm a revolutionary. If you believe I'm fucking confident as hell for walking outside with colorful hair, believe that, because I'm not. But if that helps you build confidence, then believe that. I want you to believe that. I want you to believe that I can like trick you into some shit, to believe in yourself, for people to just be better fucking humans. That's success to me. Can I leave some sort of impact like that? That's how I think. And me coming here every week is because no matter what lessons, reflections, insight, thoughts that I'm thinking that are like provocative or out there, I don't even tell y'all. We don't talk about it. Like no one knows that we don't talk about this shit in our group chat before we come here. We literally come here like, where's this conversation gonna go today? And it's always what I'm thinking or feeling. So it's like the theme and the journey. It's like you guys reaffirm and reassure the journey and the thought process that I'm having like makes sense. And I'm not the only like weirdo out here that thinks that way or has been pondering this, or you can articulate what it is that I'm trying to connect in my mind, which is super fucking helpful because my mind goes 1,000 in like 10 seconds and it's overwhelming. But that's what I think success is to me. And that's why I show up every week.
Sorry, I'm processing.
I'm sorry.
Really, I'm the only one who has a lot to figure out. I'm
sorry. Can you answer that too? Do you feel comfortable? You don't have to if you don't.
It's actually something that I'm trying to figure out myself. That's why I asked y'all. I had a conversation about this week, actually. And I'm also a Capricorn.
I liked her.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Caps in the room.
Yeah, success is it's interesting. I think success is definitely synonymous with with comfort. I think it's synonymous with change. But everyone's perspective on what it means to them is really interesting. I think I needed to hear. I do well with reinsurance as well. So to hear why you guys show up every week reassures me. It makes me more comfortable with the playing with the idea of continuing on. Because if you guys were just to say, when I ask like why you show up, I'm like, oh, I just like seeing you guys every week. That would have been, and if you would have said that in jest, then my brain would have taken that completely different. Because it's like there's no real value in that. Like we could see each other every week. We don't have to come here. You know. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say.
You also can just say, if that makes sense. I don't think you need to, it feels like you're trying to articulate it like properly. And I feel like the one thing I'm blessed with coming here and speaking to the two of you guys is you do a great job of like piecing together and being able to like make the feelings make sense. So I don't think you need to, in this moment, have like here's my direct answer, submit. It could be like, here's my bullet point.
It's okay to say you don't know.
That too.
It's okay to say you don't know what you want right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I kind of led with that. Like I just don't know what I want.
Just don't know.
Yeah, I honestly just don't know what I want.
You're laying out the facts right now, right?
Yeah.
The truth is that you know, you don't feel the same way about the show that you did when you started it, because you're getting a certain level of fulfillment from other aspects of your creative endeavors.
But I feel guilty, like not just from hearing what y'all get from it, but there's a whole audience of people who I initially came into this wanting to save. Like my purpose in life is to help, heal, and inspire through every medium of art, creativity that I indulge in, whatever. Every aspect of my life is an extension to that. So I know there are people who listen to this podcast who were like me, who were listening to this podcast when they were depressed, who needed an outlet, who look forward to every time you see that new episode pop up in their feed. So I feel like I feel like it's an obligation, because I feel like it's an obligation to the people, because I know I came into this because it's bigger than me. And it's frustrating that I'm in this space, because how can I have the awareness of that fact, but still want to selfishly want to just drop all the shit because of a temporary feeling of me not knowing what I want from this? So that weighs on my heart. That really, I didn't want to even come in and talk about this, but I couldn't just go another week and not talk about it, especially after not being together for a week. And it's just frustrating. This is just like a constant in my life. Like I feel like I just overthink too much. Like I think I react in the present. No, I look towards the future while leading with the reaction of how I feel in the present. So because I feel confused now, I feel like I'm always going to feel that way.
Oh, you're like me.
And it's like,
you're a realist.
Yeah. And through therapy, like the one conversation we keep having is centered around remaining present. Like I crucify myself for the past and I worry about the future, and I'm never here. Not most times out of the week, I am never in the moment. I'm always in my head thinking about everything going on. And that has affected every aspect of my life in many ways recently. And I'm just trying my best to that's why I think this break is going to be necessary for me, because it's going to allow me to just center and just be and just allow myself to work through the emotions instead of just reacting in the moment. Like if I were to kill him today, but like I'm done, it's not fair, you know? So I'm just trying to figure it out.
So you talked about the people, right, who you're here for. I think they're going to appreciate you being this vulnerable.
And being this honest.
If you decide to pick it up again, it's going to open a whole different door for them.
I think so too.
What I was going to say is one thing that caught my ear was when you had said temporary. So you kind of already feel like, okay, I need a break because I'm unsure, but I know that I'm not like, my heart is completely out of it. I just need things to make sense. I think breaks are, I mean, like, I'm not too sure if do you guys go all the way through? Like, did you guys take breaks before?
We've took like a couple weeks off, but
never a month.
We kind of have just kept going.
Well, first off, kudos to y'all, because
Yeah.
Baby likes her breaks. That's why when you said it, I was like, it's not against y'all. I love y'all so much. We can definitely continue hanging out. But if y'all want to take a break, I love breaks. I love a break.
Yeah, I do want to hang out with us and not just for the podcast. Like, just fucking chill.
Right. And then I don't know how to articulate it, and I feel like I'm just giving everyone our business at this point. With the way that I do BMCT, like everyone knows I don't do that. And I said that. I said, there's no way in hell this would be something I would do weekly. That is way too much for me to carry. That's way too much for me to process. It's way too much mental and emotional for me. Yeah. Absolutely the fuck not. Even when I record for the seasons, like I'll do them for this month. And then next month, I'll do another 4 because, again, I'm not trying to carry all that and think of all that and process all of that at once.
Right.
I've always been very go, go, go. The pandemic definitely helped me slow.
Facts.
And with losing my mom as well, me and my friend, who's also a Capricorn, had the conversation about how Capricorns, we're like the middle child of Gen, what are we? We're Y?
Z?
We're not Z.
No, I mean, what? Is there?
I think we're Y.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
This nigga don't even know that.
Yeah.
He don't know the alphabet at all.
The gen before us and the gen before us is stability. The gen after us is freedom. And as Capricorns, we love freedom, but like with still stability. Hence me saying like, oh, my father is still going to be my permanent house, but I'm just going to go where the fuck I want to go. In being a nomad, I was still planning. I was like, no, I'm going to be here this month and I'm going to be here there. And come on, fancy cats, my waxer was like, why are you still fucking planning? She's like, because then you're going to be disappointed when your plans fall through. You're not going to be able to just be fulfilled for literally having your suitcase ready and just being like, oh, you want me to come visit you in DC for a week? Oh, I'm coming. Yeah, like I'm in my car right now. Having that flexibility and that freedom, but that's also silencing the other noise and giving yourself that time. Like time to reflect, redirect, rechange will benefit you as a person because it takes you away from burnout. And burnout will also make you despise what you're doing. Like if you enjoy healing and helping and talking, first off, we can talk to the fucking audience. There's so many ideas that you've had and keep talking about where it's like, okay, what if we take a break and focus in on doing one of those ideas,
right?
And seeing those come to fruition finally. So now you can say, I tested that idea out and I realized I actually don't want to do that with this podcast. We don't have to ever do this again. Or I really loved live shows and I've been saying I want to bring a live show back. I want to like feed off of people, leaning into those, seeing all those other avenues that you haven't tried yet to see which one actually fits you. And so you will never have any like, well, I never did this. I wonder if that would have worked. Or, wow, I thought for a really long time this was going to make me really happy and I was going to enjoy doing this idea and it fucking sucked and I fucking hated this experience.
Right.
I think you should definitely consider, attacking it from a different angle because I think you put way too much pressure on yourself to be consistent. It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like obviously consistency leads to results, but at the same time, I think you have
repetition could be boredom.
Yeah, and monotony is just it drains anybody. And even though every episode is different, it's a different vibe, it's still just the fact of putting that pressure to be here 3 times a month. And even before we were doing that, we were coming every week. And we've been doing this for years now, like literally. It logically makes sense that you feel this way, right? You're fucking human. Like you're at the point where you're just like, all right, it's time to switch shit up. Like
even TV shows go on break, bro.
I'm saying,
it's true. Man.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody takes breaks, bro. Like I took a break from music. Like remember, like you were asking me if I'm putting it, like I had to chill, bro. Like because I did the same thing, putting pressure on myself for being consistent. And then after a while, I was just like, man, I got shit that's already recorded. That's what's coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to the fucking studio. Like I got shit that's already recorded. We're just gonna shoot some videos and then bop. You feel me? Like I feel that. First off, I remember earlier you were saying how you feel obligated to the people that they come here looking for a brand new episode every week. But let's not forget how many fucking episodes we have. We have an entire catalog, my guy. So I feel like there's plenty for people to dig back into, right? And on our part, we can always market our catalog, reposting old videos, reposting old clips.
Getting views back up.
Yes, getting views back up. Like, we cannot forget what we've already created.
Yeah.
Because we want to create more. Right? We got to think about what's already in existence and how we can circulate that to stay relevant and still serve that purpose. And you should lean on that. You should lean on the fact that you've created so much that you can take a fucking break and still be relevant.
Right.
Because there's people who don't have enough content to do that.
They're standing on nothing.
You have more than enough content to take a break and still be relevant. And on top of that, you're a fucking author. You have other shit you can talk, like, bro.
Best-selling author. You've heard.
Best-selling author.
You're right.
You're putting too much pressure on yourself. I'm fine with taking a break. We're both fine with taking a break. Like,
if that's what
that,
you
I was just about to say that shit.
I promise
If
you, whenever
wanna
you're
go
ready
more
to
than
come
a
back,
month,
I'll be right here. Like,
yo.
what's up? We ready to go? And as
Yes.
long as you need off, I'll be like, look, I'm in my bed painting my toenails. What's up?
I'm not tripping. I know the key to longevity is having good intervals where you're not doing shit, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact,
Rest.
yeah.
Sometimes you need to rest.
Rest and recharge.
You got to miss the shit. Jay-Z said it the best. How many times this nigga retired? How many times?
Right, yeah.
All right. So I'm just saying, give yourself a break. Be settled into it. You're not a rookie. You're not an amateur. You've been doing this,
You
bro.
true to this. Ain't that what the young kids say?
Something like
What
that.
the hood says?
Something like that.
Definitely taking a break. Appreciate your insight as well,
course,
Capricorn.
She's gonna be on the couch next. That's gonna be what's happening next.
That's
She's
the
gonna
first
be saying,
interview
we're
on the
gonna
way
have the
back.
fourth mic set
That
up.
is lit.
That's the first interview when we come back. But yeah, so that's where we're at with it. That's where I'm at with it. Definitely gonna take that break, maybe 2.
Can I say one last thing? I think this is gonna resonate with listeners more than you think if the listeners are creatives, because I feel like every creative gets to this point.
Yeah.
And
100%.
every entrepreneur gets to this
Yes.
point where it's like, fuck this shit. I don't know what I'm doing this for. And then you're like, wait, no.
It's kind of like you want to level up,
this.
but you don't know how. So you just need to sit back on that and let it marinate.
Yeah.
But I think on the flip side of that, entrepreneurs and creatives can relate to the idea of wanting to stay consistent, because it's like you don't want to get to a point where you're not doing anything. Like
You don't wanna get
feeling
complacent.
stagnant is like the biggest anchor for a creative at certain points. Because it's like, what if I'm during that break, I'm definitely resetting my mental state, but it's like, I'm gonna lose my skill set in any way. So like the desire to keep those skills sharp is tied to the consistency. But I do see the flip side of that as well. It's like needing that proper reset to properly enjoy this, continuing to enjoy this, and not resent it. I see both sides of it.
But
'Cause I
are
am a
you
creative.
sharpening your skills if you're not if you're not feeling 100 when you're here?
She coming for your
You'll
head
be
top.
with the jam.
That's a good question. I think so, because I think the fighting through that, not wanting to be here and remaining present in the moment to produce an episode, I think that's a good test to my will. I think that's still sharpening my skills. Maybe not genuinely or 100%, but I think just through podcasting is not just talking into a microphone. I think producing a show, fighting through that desire to not be here and still producing, I think that's a level up. But I don't think it's a genuine level up. I don't think it's a transparent one.
My question is, what is the quality of your performance if that's how you feel, right? If you feel as if you're here because you have to be, as opposed to when you were doing it because you absolutely... I remember...
That's for y'all to tell me.
I was just about to tell you I can answer that for him.
Oh.
Because I can tell you when either one of your energies are off immediately. When you walked in, I felt like your energy was up. As soon as you sat down, I was like, his energy is down. It's going to change the direction of the episode. You can feel it.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was going to say it too, but I was like, let me just wait and see. Like, maybe I'm misreading his energy because, I could be fucking wrong. Like, think of it. When CR sits down and he's not in his right state of mind, we call it out right away. What's going on? What's up this week? You can feel
I
it.
be knowing.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about strictly like content. Like we did interviews. Like, could y'all tell when fucking Mac was sitting here and I'm asking these good ass questions? Like, could y'all tell? Because I felt this way around then.
Yeah.
No, they were good. Yo, I'm a great interviewer. But like, could y'all tell that I was because I had these thoughts then. I've had these thoughts recently.
I get what you're saying.
So it's like,
It doesn't
that's
take
for the
away
people
from-
to tell me.
Okay, it doesn't take away from your ability to do your job.
No, because I'm separating myself from I'm putting on my fucking cape, putting my glasses on and coming in here and I'm a different person. But it's like in my personal, like the real me on the inside did not want to be here.
So you don't think there's any difference between that guy who's doing it but doesn't really want to be here, as opposed to the guy who couldn't wait to get here to talk about what the fuck he's been through for the last week. There's no difference. That's what you're saying.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't see a I don't see a difference. Do you?
Yeah. I could definitely say that when you're super excited about an episode, bro, I know when you can't wait to be here.
It was when he interviewed me. Duh.
I know when you're like
That episode, I did
fuck.
not want to fucking be in this. No, I'm joking.
Damn. I'm
That was about to be crazy. That was about to be crazy.
Y'all never seen me back here. Fuck these niggas.
That was
They
gonna be
deleting their
crazy.
numbers.
Nah, I'm joking. Oh, we gotta wrap it up.
But in my opinion, I can tell when you're super excited or when you're doing it out of obligation. I can tell. But that's also because I hang out with you before we get here.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, let's go smoke more and talk. Let's go smoke more and talk about this. We appreciate you guys listening to this episode. All of our social medias and where you can find us will be in the bio of this episode. And we'll see you whenever we decide to come back. Thank you for listening.